Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Saturday, February 25th, 2017. Welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. Now, on the 8th day of the opposition's protest, Tirana's police department has filed a request with the prosecution against the Democratic Party chairman, accusing him of promoting violence by urging citizens to act out violently against state institutions. Yesterday, the DP chairman gave specific suggestions for citizens to act violently in the removal of the government, saying, if they want war, there will be war. Slash their tires, break their windows, drag those who violate their rights from their offices, raise, protest, react. This is a popular movement with no return. The opposition's protest has been on the main boulevard for 8 days now, even though they were only given permission for the protest to be held on February 18th until 4 p.m. That permission has not been respected by the protesters, who are still outside the Prime Minister's office. On its 8th day, the DP chairman asked citizens who are protesting to stay strong in the face of any injustice made against them, saying, "This is not a game, but a war which we will win," again asking citizens not to be indifferent to injustices. The DP chairman held conversations at the protest tent, one with some migrants, during which he told the government not to provoke the protesters, exclaiming that any slap against the citizens will receive a punch in return. "The army of the new republic is here and will be here non-stop until there is victory. The old republic is vanishing day by day. Citizens feel consensus to bury the old republic in order to establish the new republic, and that feeling is increasing every day. Our mission starts with free and fair elections, but it does not end there. The citizens' rights will never be compromised. Our patience should not be taken as weakness. We will not tolerate provocations. If you slap us, we will punch you," declared the DP chairman, who reiterated the Democratic Party's determination to not allow formal elections, stressing that the opposition will not go into an incriminated parliament. The Democratic Party and the opposition are determined to go through to the end with the citizens' decision. There will be no elections with this prime minister and this government. This is not a game, but a war, out of which we will be victorious, said the DP chairman. Prime Minister Edi Rama held a meeting today with the minority community in Saranda to present the new minorities law. Education rights for minorities will now be sanctioned in a law which the government says will also have the establishment of a regional office for education. Also, there will be a special fund created by the government for national minorities, which will be used to realize social and cultural projects. During the presentation of the new bill, the Prime Minister emphasized that implementing the judicial reform must start as soon as possible in order to begin solving Albania's problems. According to the Prime Minister, the judicial reform will help solve the property issues, which has been a problem for this community. The vetting process is for Albanians and for minorities. It is the most dramatic need for Albanian people. Albania must be saved from the clutches of corrupt people who have done the biggest evil to this country, declared the Prime Minister, who also issued an appeal to his former ally in government, Vangel Dule, saying, "What is Vangel Dule doing at the tent? Why is he not coming in to vote on the vetting? If we want to treat the property issues, then we should start with implementing the judicial reform," added Rama. The Prosecution General has responded to the Central Election Commission's request for additional information about Leja's MP, Armando Prenga. Yesterday, the Central Election Commission requested additional information before making a decision to terminate his mandate or not. The Prosecution General responded with a reiteration of its request to remove MP Prenga's mandate. The prosecution claims the MP did not respect the decriminalization law, failing to declare several criminal proceedings in Italy, and his sentence ruled by the Curbin court. And for this reason, the Prosecution General is asking for a rapid interruption of the MP's mandate. In a statement, the prosecution asked for the review to be decided within the 10-day legal limit. The statement reads, "The Prosecution General sent its response today, giving the Central Election Commission the opportunity to review its request to interrupt MP Prenga's mandate within 10 days. The Minister of Interior Saimir Tahiri was in Berlin, where he met with the German Federal Minister of Interior, Thomas de Maizière. The ministers discussed their common results in the fight against organized crime and terrorism. They also spoke about establishing joint work groups to investigate issues affecting both countries. Establishing joint investigative groups against organized crime is a crucial priority for Albania's membership in the European Union. We can do more in the future in order to have concrete results. We had the opportunity to also discuss other issues, especially the judicial reform and the need to immediately start implementing the vetting process, an important process to clean the justice system from corrupt judges and prosecutors, declared Minister Tahiri. Meanwhile, the German Minister of Interior focused on the asylum seekers issues, highlighting that the situation has improved in the last 2 years. 2 years ago, it was concerning to see Albanian citizens seeking asylum in Germany. However, the number of asylum seekers has reduced, and most have been repatriated, thanks to bilateral cooperation. It was not easy for the Albanian government, however, things have worked out. We have supported Albania in their border regime with Greece, with which the cooperation has been excellent. The fight against organized crime was the main subject of our discussion. Given the connections between Albanian and German crime, we have decided to improve our cooperation through joint investigations in order to fight the common evil, said the German minister. Assembly Speaker Ilir Meta held a meeting with the Socialist Movement for Integration Structures in Berat, where he emphasized the implementation of the judicial reform and decriminalization. Mr. Meta considers both of them to be crucial processes in the path towards European integration. The SMI chairman declared that the Socialist Movement for Integration has always been a stability factor and oriented towards free elections and an open list system. The SMI has always been a force that has oriented towards the most important causes, such as free elections and an open list system, so that the Albanian people can have the opportunity to vote and also to elect, said Meta, adding the importance of implementing the decriminalization law, saying, "Let's clean politics of incriminated people. All those politicians who want to contribute in the judicial reform must support implementing the decriminalization law. They must stop communicating with criminals." Mr. Meta highlighted the importance of political dialogue, which he says the country needs the most for opening negotiations towards EU integration. Prime Minister Edi Rama was also in Vlora today to attend a ceremony for citizens receiving legalization permits. Around 500 permits were given out today, prompting Rama to say the legalization process now has a history of success. The previous government issued 21,000 legalizations in 8 years, 80% of which were issued to businesses, whereas we have issued 115,000 legalization permits in the last 30 months, of which 90% have been for houses, declared the Prime Minister, issuing critiques over the delays to issue the property titles. During his speech, the Prime Minister also remarked on the judicial reform, especially vetting processes being a necessity. There are many cases when courts have refused police proof against criminals, setting them free, giving them the opportunity to commit crime again, so they are double murderers because the courts have set them free. How can we build a future if we do not clean the system from the remains of the last 25 years, declared the Prime Minister. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.